Hi everybody, I just wanted to show you this article from the Module 2 readings and give you some ideas of why I think this would be a good article for you to use as a model for your Module 2 paper. I think there's a lot going on here that you could use. First of all, let's take a look at the website. I had never heard of this website or seen it before, and it's from Northwestern. So you should probably know that any website that ends in an edu is just about the best site you can use for a college paper when you're doing research. So this is from Northwestern University, and this part of the website is called Helix, and this is important: Connecting Science to You, which tells me that it's written probably by pretty educated people for the general reader. So it's a very good website, I think, for articles about science for people who don't know much about science and trying to explain it. So we'll look at the title. This is a good tactic if you need to write a good title for a paper. Try something like this. I do this myself. A catchy little phrase followed by a colon and then your real title. So you should probably make use of this. And let's see who the author is. Jessica Wilson. Let's check her out. Okay. Pretty hip looking. Some kind of bird. I don't know what that is. Okay. Jessica Wilson is a PhD candidate in the neuroscience program at Northwestern University. Oh, this is interesting. Outside the lab, Jessica teaches communication workshops for scientists. So this is what she likes to do. She likes to write science articles for non-science people. Let's go back. Okay. As we go through this article, I want you to think about a few things and pay attention to a few things. First of all, it opens with an anecdote. An anecdote is a short little story about a person, usually. Sometimes it can be about you. Often it's about someone in the news, so you'll notice there's an anecdote that begins this. And the introduction goes on for a few paragraphs. This is not the style you'll use in a college paper ever. See, this is considered a paragraph on the internet, but certainly when you're writing for academic audience, this isn't going to work. This should all be one paragraph. Okay, so hopefully that's clear. But we have our anecdote at the beginning with this 44-year-old guy who started writing poetry for the first time, which is not that unusual. A lot of people start writing poetry in middle age. I did. It's terrible. But that's not really the point of this article. But when you get down here, you get the thesis statement, finally. So this is how you know that it's your introduction. What's his secret? Why the sudden outburst of creativity? Was it something he saw on television? Something in the water? Perhaps it has everything to do with the fact that he has Parkinson's disease. There it is, thesis statement. So the end of the introduction. Now, usually in a paper, after your intro is the best place to define your terms. And we see that's exactly what she's doing. We have 3 paragraphs here, 1, 2, 3, that define Parkinson's for people who don't know really anything about it. She tells you what it is. It's a progressive neurodegenerative disease that affects movement. She goes into some more detail about different parts of the brain. So that's a pretty detailed definition right there. And now look, causes. This is classic essay style. Remember, introduction, definition, causes. And quite often you could actually have a paragraph after this about effects as well. Now, what she decides to do here is go back to the opening paragraph and talk about him in more detail. You can do this in your own papers. You can start off with an anecdote or an example that you want to use in your paper as part of your research, and you can lead off with it and then come back to it later. This is used by a lot of good writers. So she does that here. And then she gets into several paragraphs of her specific thesis about the correlation between dopamine and creativity. It says how it works. Finally, towards the end, she starts talking about treatment. You'll notice the instructions for your Module 2 paper ask you to talk about treatment as well as causes and effects and everything else. Let's see, where is it? I lost it. Anyway, but look what she does here. Here's her conclusion right here. You'll notice that she starts off with a single person. This is her intro, a single example. But in her conclusion, look what she's doing. We. She's looking at the bigger picture. We. Us. This is, again, this is a classic essay style. She really knows what she's doing. So I would recommend following a very similar pattern to what she has here. So take a look at it again, and you can use it as an example. And again, you need 5 pages on this first paper, and I think if you were to write like this, you would probably get it pretty easily. Okay, so that's about it. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck with this paper. Okay, bye-bye.